Do you feel French? That's a question I've gotten a lot over the years, and it's a really interesting one. The first couple of times I heard it, I really had to pause and think about it. I didn't know. How does one feel French exactly? And whether you do or don't, or you're somewhere in the middle, what factors go into feeling a certain nationality? That's exactly what we're talking about in today's video. So first, if you're new here, bonjour tout le monde, I'm Diane. I'm the American behind the Oui In France Living Abroad lifestyle blog, and also the same channel here on YouTube where we talk about everyday French life and beyond. And before I get into it, I just want to remind you that I do have a line of merch. I have a brand new holiday collection, and I have a promo going on now if you're watching this right after I publish the video. I'd be really thrilled if you check that out. And yeah, just make sure you click the link below in the description, not the little thumbnails that are, the photos under this video, because they're not going to take you to the full catalog of designs. So check that out, grab the promo code, and I'd be really thrilled if you supported my channel because this year's been crazy and supporting small businesses is something that I'm doing too. So thank you again, and we're going to get right into the video. All right, so I've been living in France now for over 8 years, out in the countryside, not in Paris. I'm a permanent resident, so the equivalent of a US green card, which affords me the right to live and work in France indefinitely and pay taxes. In terms of citizenship, I'm an American citizen. I hold an American passport, not a French one. And my formative years were spent in the USA. I moved to France as an adult, and I barely spoke intermediate French. And over the years, I've traveled all around France. I've been really fortunate in that respect, and I am able, I try to at least, to get back home, which is now Florida, USA, around the holiday season, but not this year. So do I feel French? Not exactly, but to really get deep into that answer, I think we need to unpack what feeling French means. So yeah, we'll get there. But first, I feel American first and foremost, and I feel like I always will. I'll just be me. And I feel more American living in France than I did in the USA because here, obviously, I'm not surrounded by other Americans. So the things that I do differently definitely stand out. But that doesn't mean aspects of French culture haven't rubbed off on me. They definitely have along the way. So for example, my husband's French. I speak French. I live in France in a small town where, there is no English, so I'm immersed in French everything. And I feel like I've really embraced the French way of life, and it's really been for the best. So as I've spoken about before, I love the French veterinary care for my dog. I love human health care. I feel like the emphasis on fresh food, family time, the work-life balance, those are all things France has going for it, and I love that stuff. I really do enjoy the French way of life, even if there are maddening aspects to la vie française. But back to the original question, do I feel French at my core? And the answer is not really. Sometimes, I don't know, it's complicated. Maybe I'm kind of in the middle. How does one feel French exactly? And as I said, I think we need to unpack what that means. So to fully answer, do you feel French, Diane? Well, we'd have to define what being French is or what feeling French is. So for you, what is it? Do you feel like you're the nationality that you are because of certain things? Is it easier to feel like your nationality when you're outside your home country? Is it easier to feel like you're a foreign nationality when you're abroad? I don't know. And do you ever feel like you've taken on the characteristics of the country that you now live in? I want to hear from you on this one down in the comments. But let's just take American, for example, since that's my nationality. What makes you feel American? Is it doing American things? Is it speaking English? Is it living in the US? Is it having American friends? Is it having an American passport or doing things a certain way or having a certain mindset? What things make you feel American? And if we were to apply those parameters to my life in France and feeling French, I guess I should feel French. I speak the language. I could apply for French citizenship, so I'd actually be French on paper and have that French passport. But this got me thinking about whether feeling French is just a surface level thing, like making French foods or, learning French, or does it go deeper? Does it affect who you are at your core and the things that make up your very essence? I don't know. It's kind of like playing dress up as a kid, right? You dress up in your mom's shoes and her clothes, you put on her makeup and your jewelry, but you know you're still a kid. And even if you're trying your best to look like an adult, look like your mom, you know you're just a kid in clothes that are too big and makeup that wasn't made for you and jewelry that falls down too low. So I guess I feel like, I'm somewhat French. I'm immersed in everyday French life. I live here. French culture has become my norm, so much so that when I go back to the US, I'm like, whoa, that's weird. But it goes beyond dressing or acting a certain way. One's identity definitely goes deeper than just purely speaking a language, right? Or living somewhere. And I feel like I've adapted my own behaviors a little bit, and I do regular stuff like picking up things at the market every day, picking up wine from the producers, the small producers directly, getting a baguette at the bakery. And I have traveled around France, so I've gone deeper than just doing these things. I've learned about the places and the people and their mentalities that make France what it is. So yeah, having a French husband too kind of makes me feel French. He gives me insight into how the French live and think. And at my core, I know I'm American. I'm just me, I'm Diane, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And I stopped trying a long time ago to be something that I'm not. And it just works at this point. So I'd love to hear from you. Do you identify with a certain nation and its people, whether or not you're from that nation or whether or not you live there? And I think we could feel like a mix of cultures and kind of identify with parts of them, even if we're not physically there. So it's a given, of course, that we take things with us as we move through life. Things like habits and cultural norms, mannerisms, ways of speaking and doing things. And we just pick these things up along the way and keep what we like. We let go of what we don't. And I'd like to think that I've definitely taken on some of the positive aspects of French culture and just meshed them with who I already was. So one thing I want to stress is I don't think you need to lose who you are when you integrate into a new culture. You don't have to dim your spirit and become someone you're not, or try to be someone that you're not, if that makes sense. So back to the original question, do you feel French, Diane? Well, I just feel like myself. I'm a mix of cultures and mindsets and experiences that have shaped me and will continue to shape me. So do I feel French? Sometimes, yeah. Yes and no. And I don't know if I'll ever feel French, even with a French passport. And that's okay, because I'm not French. And I don't think I necessarily need to feel French to live in France, to be successful here, and to be okay. I'm American. I'm happy to be a guest here in France, although a permanent one. And that's good enough for me. So that wraps up what I wanted to talk to you about today. I'd love to hear from you, as I mentioned, down in the comments about how you feel about your national identity, if you've lived abroad, if you've taken on aspects of that culture, and what does it mean to you to feel French or to feel American? And I know there's a lot of you out there who live abroad like me, some American, some French, and everything in between. So feel free to chat with me below. Also, I have a newsletter, so sign up for that below. The link is in the description box. And I also have a physical mailing address in case you want to send me any old school mail, snail mail. So check that out. And last thing, again, I do have a line of merch with brand new holiday designs. So in case you're supporting small businesses this year, I'd love to be on your radar. Thank you again for that. And as always, I'll see you back here on Oui In France soon. And just know I am going to get out of my house once lockdown is over, and I hope to bring you videos, from other areas of France and show you people other than me. So yeah, see you back here on Oui In France soon. Salut! And I had to think about it a little bit, and Dagny, that's not going to work. This is why mom can't have nice things. This is why we had to stop filming.